Bravo, you ready?
Stand by. I'm just waiting for a radio check from Sergeant Gill.
Okie dokie.
Radio check 133.2 over.
Lily, Charlie, 3.2 over.
Copy it.
Can you also manage your team to blue?
Yeah.
Affirm, Corporal.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right, guys. So we're 100%. We're ready to conduct this training. Super excited. Go ahead and file through the teleporter over there. That one.
Copy.
One's going through.
Flag to Reist.
Who was
And then
driving
just
this
hang
fucking
tight.
MRAP? Damn it, Carl.
I honestly don't see an MRAP. It's the second time I've heard about it.
Okay.
I'm blind.
Do you seriously don't see
Sergeant
an
Gillum,
MRAP?
I'm gonna ask you to be
I swear
2IC.
on everything.
As I said,
not.
damn it,
It'll be
Carl.
me and
Alright, guys.
Private A and
Yep, to drive
Sergeant
fire.
Gillum and Private D.
Copy out.
Calling, sir.
All right, gather around. All right, awesome, cool. So, all right, so here we are. We're on the live fire or the dry fire range for the conducting a breach of a trench, right? Entering and breaching a trench. So, the way that this works is the idea is that you need to suppress the area that you're trying to breach, right? So you would either do that with indirect fires or direct fire weapon systems. Now, all the trenches that I've set up out here today are close enough to engage with your direct fire weapon systems. That being said, I still have put some indirect assets in the AO. So if we get a good fire mission that comes up, I will be more than happy to utilize indirect fires to let you guys see all the. Wow, man, there's an ambulance somewhere way close over here.
Excuse me, that's me. Sorry.
No worries. So,
Off the mic.
yep. So, anyways, so you guys will be able to use indirect fires to suppress the thing, right? So that's the first thing, suppress the trench line that you're trying to hit. After that, the next step is you actually have to conduct your assaulting element, right? So what you're trying to do is you're trying to suppress that trench system, and then you have your assaulting element take off, and they're trying to hit the trench itself. So if you guys open up your map, I'll show you what that looks like. Everybody see my trace?
Look.
Affirm.
Super cool. Okay, so we got some phase lines up here. We got phase line suppress, phase line fire, phase line shift and lift, right? Pretty self-explanatory what those are. We also have SBF 1, SBF 2, and the trench objective itself. Over here, I kind of drew like a little avenue of approach. This is the avenue of approach we're going to take because over here is just kind of crazy and flat and really no reason to use it. There is some slight cover over here, but we're not going to use that. So, that being said, you guys would come up through this town, right? You would say, hey, there's a trench system over here. We've identified it. I would call it up and say, hey, I've got a trench system. They'd say, roger that. Go ahead and hit it. Would begin with suppressing the target, right? So we'd call IDF on this target. Boom, boom, boom. Mortars begin to hit it. We begin to push up. We push up an SBF element. So we'll say it's Bravo team, right? Bravo team occupies SBF 1. Now, Bravo, what do you think you're going to start doing as soon as you get in place at SBF 1?
Suppress.
Hell yeah. And you're going to suppress the shit out of everything on that trench. And what you're doing is you're buying time, right? So as Alpha team pushes through, right, we have a second phase line here. And the reason why we use that, if we want to, is that if we want to delay your suppressing action, so maybe you're just kind of sitting down here, but you're ready to in place, you know, or you're on the actual objective, but you're not firing yet because they can't see you. Well, that's fine. You're just sitting here. And then once they cross phase line fire, they're like, yo, we're crossing phase line fire on net. And then you guys open up. Boom, 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 boom. You're hitting the fucking trench, right? So then you're suppressing the shit. You're killing everybody in front of the trench, and Alpha team is making their way to assault. So we got one last phase liner here, which is phase line shift and lifts, right? Alpha team leader is going to come over the net, and they're going to say, hey, I'm entering the compound, shift and lift fires, right? So at that point, you guys would shift and lift your fires either left or right. Now they're coming to the right, so you guys would obviously shift over to the left. Or maybe you would just engage stuff on the left side of the trench, you know, past their breach point. Alpha team hits the trench. They stack up on it. They're ready to go in. First thing they do is they pop grenades. They throw their grenades inside the trench. It clears an opening. As soon as the grenade's dead, they jump inside the trench. Whether it's going over the wall, whether it's going through an opening, doesn't matter, right? And they stack up. Now, we're going to move down the field, and I'll actually show you guys how to move through a trench, but it's really no different than like moving through a diamond pattern, right? Like we do inside of houses. You guys are stacked up. The same rules that apply for clearing a house apply for clearing a trench in the open or a compound or whatever the fuck we're taking, right? Does it make sense?
Confirm.
Does anybody have questions on that before we start walking through it? Because if you don't get this part, you're not going to get the rest of it.
Just to make sure.
Sorry, no, has a question.
Yep, send it.
I think the private had a question first, but
Yep,
I also
send
had
it
a question.
private. Okay.
So, when Alpha starts moving, I'm gonna use the map. When they move, once they get to here, we move forward. Or we're just gonna stay in the spot suppressing all the way. Or
So
they move and then we move and they move and then we move.
right. So you're gonna be wherever where you can continue to cover them. Right. There's a second SBF here, just for the purpose of like they don't like SBF 1, or maybe you guys are in the trench and we want to leave you on the outside. You can push into SBF 2. But with it being only a squad-sized element, really, once they establish that foothold, you guys should be moving up the field, right? So if they're on the wall and you guys have eliminated all the threats on the outside of the trench, right, and they have a good assault position established, and we feel comfortable moving you guys up, we can move you up into SBF 2, and as soon as they go in, you guys flow in right behind them. That's the idea, right? Is that you shouldn't have to run across 300 meters of field if you don't have to. But if it's necessary, like the enemy is just vigorously trying to hold that position, then yeah, you got to sit back there until they can actually get that foothold established. And this works whether we're doing on a squad level, a platoon level, a company level. It all works the same, right? Just bigger objectives, obviously, more trench systems and such. Okay, any questions on that?
Later.
Cool. All right, follow me, children.
Sorry, Corporal.
Oh, that's right. You had one.
Yeah, apologize. Real quick, I don't know. Is this going over OSET? Maybe it's been so long, but I don't know what SBF stands for.
That's your support by fire.
Okay. Is that going over in OSET? Does anyone know? Or is that something that we just introduced?
Doesn't sound familiar from us.
I can tell you right now. So, not per se, although it is the student reference document. There's a whole page or two of abbreviations used in unit, but it's not a separate, lesson within the actual OSA class. But it's in the student reference document, so it is used. So
Cool. I just didn't know. I appreciate learning something new. So thank you.
No worries. Hey, so sorry. You have something? Sorry.
no, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. So does anybody stand up if you don't know what a support by fire is or the purpose of it? Yeah. Okay. No worries. So all we're doing at a support by fire position, that's like your you're an overwatch position for your assault element, right? So every assault is broken down into two elements. You have an assaulting element and you have a supporting element, right? The supporting element is laying down fire, basically pinning the enemy in place, while the assaulting element is maneuvering, or the maneuver element is maneuvering on that grounded enemy, right? Whether they're stuck behind walls, whether you've killed them already in the open, whatever you've done, right? And that's why we utilize the support by fire, because it's a known position that we're going to emplace a team or a weapon squad or whatever, so they can overwatch a position that other elements can move through and then attack that enemy that they're killing. Or they could be blocking an area. They could be preventing enemy from running across the field.
Basically, the same as distraction too, also, right? Because we're shooting, they're shooting from over here, and they don't know the other Alpha team is moving to the side.
Yeah, and it can be. It can be to draw enemy fire, but the primary effort of them is to kill and support that maneuver element.
Okay.
Or kill for, not kill them directly. Hopefully, as long as they shift and lift their fires. Everybody understand shift and lift?
Yes.
If you don't stand up. Sergeant Holler, are you...
I apologize. No, I do understand.
Okay, cool. No worries. All right, so follow me. We're going to run over to SBF 1, and I'm going to do some pointing, and then we're going to do some drills.
Copy.
What are you talking about, man? What?
There's no... You're joking, right?
No, up to date.
All right, welcome to SBF 1.
Go on.
It's not perfectly accurate on the map, but it's here. So this is SBF 1, right? So what do we see out there? We got a trench system, right? Big, beautiful trench system. Also, I apologize. I am not super great at building things with my little wobbly hands, so I can't make trenches in the ground, but I can build HESCO compounds, and that's what we got over there. So as we're analyzing this, right, Bravo team, we're going to say that you guys are going to be in the SBF position, right? So you guys get set up on this hill like you guys were going to support this position. So spread out, take ground, get everything ready. You don't have to be locked and loaded.
Get out of the way.
Yep. Spread out. Get some sightlines on that compound.
Cool. All right. So Bravo team is now in place, right? So we've looked at the AO. So me as a squad leader, I would push up and say, okay, I don't feel comfortable with the avenues of advance that I have. You know, I don't like the right over here, or I don't like the left. So we're going to swing Alpha around right. Okay. So Alpha team looking out to the right now, pretty wide open. Left looks like it might be a little bit more advantageous, so we're going to fucking frago our last order, and you guys are going to push left. Make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Too easy. So you guys would then push left up this compound, right? Or up this little rock wall, you know, using as much cover as you could and smoke. Out here to our direct front, the support by fire team, once you guys got to the fire line, or as soon as it was called up by the squad leader to open fire, would then open fire on this. We don't want to in place as a support by fire position until we're ready to fire, though, right? Like, we really want to avoid that if at all possible. So support by fire is occupied. We're ready to fire. You guys begin engaging. Alpha team begins their assault. Make sense?
Affirm.
Cool.
Super duper cool. Okay, so now, if there's no questions on that, what's going to happen here is you guys are going to do the same thing. Bravo's going to push up here first. Alpha, you're going to take the first assault. You're going to push all the way up there. You're going to secure a foothold, which you do by doing how? That's a question. Yep. Right. So when you guys actually get on the trench compound, how are you going to secure that foothold? That's right. You guys are going to push in, breach the doors, and you're going to immediately pull security in every direction that you can, right? So left and right. And you're going to sit, and you're going to call for Bravo to come up. You know, if there's something that's directly imposing in front of you that you have to absolutely go clear, you go do it. But otherwise, you're going to fucking push in, you're going to push to a safe vantage point, and you're going to open that hole up for either Bravo team or another squad or whatever the fuck's coming in. Okay? Make sense? That's right. That's right. And, you know, however that looks for you, whether it's stacking up right at the doors or whatever, but you're just trying to prevent the enemy from flooding back into that area you just cleared out. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I expect it. Okay. So with that, let's all push back down the hill just a little ways into these trees, and we'll actually go through it. So I'm going to put some IDF on that, and then when the IDF starts, Bravo, you guys are going to push into your assault by fire or your support by fire position, and Alpha, you're going to begin to conduct movement. Okay?
Copy.
Super duper cool. Bravo, for this portion, I'm going to stand at the SBF so I can watch.
Prep smokes.
Copy.
Send it.
That's true.
Yeah, you guys can drop legit smoke. We can rearm. There's an arsenal box.
Copy.
Yeah, this is a live fire, so you guys are feel free to, you know, use and shoot and do everything.
Lock and load, and your plugs.
Sounds like we're building a lock and load. Also, make sure your plugs are in. Roger.
Let's drive higher.
I think we'll live firing at paper targets and stuff like that.
There's our IDF. Let's start moving towards our FBF.
I want you in your fucking SBF. Alpha, start moving to the left side.
We're on the move.
bad throw. That's a green.
Get set up. Let me know when you're set.
I'm gonna set, but I can't see shit.
Yeah, I'm setting blind.
Shit. Fucking great, dude.
Bravo's in place. Just waiting for the smoke. Bravo copies.
You're free to engage.
I can't see shit, dude.
Yeah, we're blind.
We move to your left.
Go for Bravo. Bravo copies.
Okay, we need to put some fire on there. Even if you can't see, get some fire on it.
Roger.
Go.
If you can see to drop 40s on it, you can drop 40s.
Copy.
Go for Bravo. Reload. Bravo copies.
Step it up, guys.
Bravo. Bravo copies.
Alpha's pop green smoke for cover and concealment.
Copy.
Reloading.
Bravo copies. Wrong net.
Reloading.
We need to shift our fire to the right side. Alpha's moving in on the north.
Copy.
Bravo copies. Bravo copies.
Okay, we're breaking down. We're gonna be pushing up.
Copy.
Pull back behind this hill and we'll take the same route Alpha did. It's got the best cover.
Tactical reload.
Yep. Already exposed, but whatever. I suck with smokes.
I smoke.
Go for Bravo. Bravo copies. We're on the way to you now.
Alpha should be just up ahead.
Here.
Okay, team 2, go.
Team 2 moving.
Roboto with me.
Moving
Yeah.
up, moving up. Left looks clear, left looks clear. Hold
Bradley's
to
coming
left,
over the wall.
Holding left, holding left.
Alpha's
Left
moving
clear.
through the compound.
There's a
Friendly's on our rear.
there's a passageway at the back.
Yeah,
Crossing
you
line,
guys go
going
ahead and
left.
hook. We'll hold this corner.
Left looks clear.
Try to go with him.
Fucking corner looks clear. Pushing back over to the left.
Move in.
Team 1
Holding high.
pushing.
Corner.
Alright, Press, I got no line. Pushing off the right.
Roboto, hook the corner.
Yeah.
Pushing to the right, pushing to
Okay.
the right, pushing to the right. Pushing to the right.
He's dead.
Let's push back
Yeah.
outside.
Team 1's
Go
pushing.
along the back outside.
Hold.
Copy.
Damn it.
It looked like there was a passageway there. There's not.
Go in right and then look left.
Holding behind, team 1.
Moving.
Push past your Mike. We're going to push outside.
To the right.
Go.
Team 2 push on. We'll hold here.
Alpha, this problem.
Go for Alpha.
We
Oh,
pushed
alright.
back outside the compound.
Alright,
We're
you
pushing
guys gotta
along the
move a
back
little to
wall,
the left of the. You want to push to the right?
heading southeast.
Alpha copies. Move
Alright,
just
alright,
about
I
clear.
guess we're gonna cross then. Go and crossing.
Move.
God damn. Good shot.
Set.
Corner.
Going to the right.
Fine
One
corner.
right.
That's it.
Careful up ahead. Don't step out.
Crossing you.
If there's any openings.
1.
You can fix my arm.
This is tight. Reloading.
Ready.
There's a target across the hall for this opening.
Moving.
Copy. We'll just hold it for now. Alpha's got it under control.
Go.
Let's not start throwing fire into there.
Alright.
Friendly's in front.
Copy.
Moving.
There's a little hallway here. Looks clear
far.
actually. Yeah.
That's clear.
Compound
the right's
will be
clear there,
5-0.
Alpha.
Moving.
Move in.
Clear.
Alright.
3 through this Alpha.
Yep. No, you're too fat.
Journey's all clear.
I'm too fat. Hello, friends.
Okay, everybody. We're going back down the hill. Just a little
We're
bit.
about to be moved.
Oh, cops.
Put your safeties on.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Copy.
Friendly's coming over the wall. Disregard, guys. They're coming up to us. Whoever that is.
Disregard. They're gonna come to
All
us.
the initiative.
Corporal back at.
All right, gather around, everyone.
What's up, Mike?
I'm kind of hearing you in your head, in my head.
You'll have to get used to that.
All right, so how do we think that went?
Not bad, really.
Okay. Bravo, you got any comments?
Not at this time, Corporal.
Cool. All right. If not, then I have some. So, talking about the advance on the compound, right? So overall, we used IDF, we suppressed the shit out of the bunker, we got the SPF in place. Alpha went on their assaulting element. Starting off, we smoked the support by fire position. How did that happen, or why?
Corporal, my first smoke grenade landed someplace I did not expect it to land.
I guess more of my question is why are we smoking the position that we're trying to gain some fire support from, right? We've already suppressed the enemy with IDF. The idea is that you guys are using IDF to keep their heads down to maneuver into your position, so you don't have to throw any smoke, right? As long as those rounds are falling, a sensible person isn't going to stick their head up.
Copy.
They'll be on ground. And you have plenty of cover, to run up behind it. You don't have to run out in the open or anything. So there's really no reason to smoke your support by fire position. You need to get in place and then start, open it up as soon as Alpha crosses that fire line. Following that, so we kind of had this weird separation of forces, right? Alpha, how long do you think you were sitting on that west side of the trench, on the north side?
How long before we entered it?
No,
Or
how
just
long
after
before
we entered it?
How long before Bravo got back to you guys?
It did feel like an eternity.
Right. Do you think the enemy would be able to mount a successful counterattack against a fire team? That many targets you shot in there?
Well, I don't know about successful.
I hear you. All right. So that brings me to my second point, right? So, and I'll take some of the blame for this, right? So, Alpha established what is called an assault position over there, right? They were preparing to assault. They were setting all the conditions. They were letting Bravo know they were about to cross that field and hit this position, right? What should have happened is that Bravo could have either broke down and pushed to their assault position or pushed up in teams to SBF2 to continue that suppressing fire. Because either way, with the size of the element that we were trying to move up the west side, they couldn't take this compound by themselves. So I didn't give you the answers to the test, but that would have been a more likely scenario, right? If you'd used this position in teams, or better yet, just pushed up to their assault position and kind of continued to suppressing fire the right side of the trench in teams, would have been a way of doing it as well. But that's not what we did, but let's just keep that as food for thought, right? We can absolutely do that. And really in this big open field, there's nowhere really to go sit. But if you guys have the advantage and you're already suppressing, like there's no rule that says you can't just like space out by 50 meters and continue to suppress this trench line and bound up by teams across the field, right? We try not to do that because this is a big open trench for enemies to shoot at you, and you want to try to take a path that's safe. But if that was the call that you made, that's the call that you made. But we saw how slow that was, right? That the enemy, was just basically could have overwhelmed Alpha, and then we would have had a team down in the trench and a team stuck in the middle of the field and no way to get to him. Fair enough?
What?
They from?
Super cool, guys. All right. Sergeant Larry?
Thank you, Corporal. Okay, so I just want to make sure everybody understands intent behind this. So, what do you think the distance is between support by Fire 1 and this bunker complex over here?
300 meters.
300 meters.
300 meters.
meters.
All right. So, what ended up happening was Bravo team was still down at SPF2, while Alpha was already inside the compound over here. Now, as Alpha waited for Bravo to maneuver up here, two things could have happened possibly. There are two things that can go wrong here. Either Alpha gets fucked or Bravo gets fucked. So, Alpha getting fucked is real fucking likely and real easy. All it takes is one enemy and a frag grenade. That's it. Bravo, I mean, they're down there. They're using concealment, but they're down in the open field. And if somebody were to open up on them from this end of the complex, Bravo there's a chance that Bravo gets fucked and Alpha would not be able to assist in time, and vice versa. So you keep your teams close together when advancing like this, especially if it's a bunker of this magnitude. And there's a lot of area with no cover between the teams, so that if help is needed, the other element can reach the other one in time. So does everybody understand that?
Confirm, Sergeant.
Okay. Also, I'm going to touch on suppression a bit. Okay. It is often there are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to suppression. A lot of different ways to think of it, but here's how we do suppression in the unit, at least. And there's a reason why we do all of this. And if you have any questions, comments, hold them until I'm done here. So, generally,
What's
when we
up,
think of
Walt?
suppression here
How
is
you doing?
suppressing a target, but we're not suppressing an area, so to speak. Most of the time, at least. So when you're thinking about suppressing somebody, you identify a target, you start suppressing, pops down, let a few more rounds, and then you stop and start scanning for him again. There's a good chance the fucker is, changing position to engage you from another angle if you didn't kill him with that fucking engagement. So we generally don't do area suppressions because the ammo constraint and the amount of shit that we face in operation phases.
Shut off.
So when we suppress a position, we identify a target, we start suppressing, he pops down, then we stop, and we start scanning, wait for the target to present itself again. Because there's no point in suppressing a position just because you think someone might be there. Now, that being said, area suppression is a thing, but it's only conducted when the assaulting element has no cover or concealment of their own on their own, and we absolutely 100% need to prevent enemy from popping up. All right. So, and we only conduct it as a preventive measure for the duration of the maneuver. But we don't do that generally because the team's always maneuvering. They have smoke, some form of concealment, so it's not necessary to lay down a bunch of fire into a bunch of sandbags just because to prevent someone that might not even be there from popping up. Now, in reality, I mean, that's the point of suppression, right? Suppress an area, nobody sticks their head out, our guys can go in. But the amount of shit we face during operations as a rifle platoon, we're often not go up against several companies up to a battalion, and we don't nearly carry enough ammunition to conduct suppression in that manner. So when you're actually suppressing a target or a compound, just pick out a target, engage him, goes back down, then stop and start scanning. Just save your ammunition. Don't conduct area suppression unless it's absolutely fucking necessary. All right? Does everybody understand that? Okay.
Well,
all right. That's all I had. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sergeant Larry. Yep. And sorry if I wasn't clear on that. I told you guys to pick up the rate of fire, so that's on me. But now that we all got a good common operating picture on how we do that, we guys ready to switch it out and go again?
Hey, fun.
Super cool. Okay, then we will meet at the bottom of the hill. Hold position. Hold. No reason to wear your legs out.
Yeah, I love PT, Corvo.
I know.
PT makes you sexy.
I'm carrying a big gun. No PD for me. See, man.
We rearm?
Yep, go ahead and rearm.
Hey, Barbado. This is a nice moment to mention something for everyone. Don't sit on pop-up targets or they'll pop up in your ass and hurt you.
Yes, I've noticed.
We're still
Yeah, you did.
2 hours away from that.
You guys, I know the pop-up targets really don't help illustrating the point of suppression here because these fuckers just don't die, but get the gist.
Also, Corporal Thompson.
What do you got?
Anyone that's calling red frequency 133.
As a side note, when you set up pop-up targets, the right ones allow you to set them to pop up in 30 seconds at the longest.
All right, Highline.
Okay, appreciate it.
It's Alpha on 133. Name of Charlie. Over.
Thank you.
I think you threw it on 133, 133.1.
Okay, because I thought I heard you on 133.
Anyone on that? This is a holler and track frequency 133.1 over.
Name of Charlie 133.1.
Right up.
Yeah, Barbano. Did you just
Corporal Thompson.
Did you just happen to reload your kit?
I'm having
Yo, Gonzalez, how do I get the ammo?
You'll have to change your
issue
radio.
with my radio.
If you go into
Ace
Okay.
Interactions Arsenal.
I do not have 133.1 set, but I'm still able to hear Beckett over 133.1.
But you cannot hear me on 133?
I can hear you on 133, but I'm also hearing Beckett on 133.1.
Are you hearing me or are you hearing an echo?
I'm pretty much hearing you.
So it's actually the radio?
Click on your...
Yes.
Like if I do this, you'll hear me talking on the radio?
Yeah, I just applied for unemployment.
Yes, and over
here. I just applied for unemployment today.
You need to go into the audio settings and turn off VON, I think.
Yep. That's that'll fix it. And honestly, your VON should not be set to push the talk anyways.
Cool. Under your menu, figure controls, keyboard,
Bravo, let me know when you're
multiplayer, push to talk. Do you have anything set up over there? Or
we good to go, or
net? Do you have anything set up there?
I just changed it. You said
get on the screen.
There's push to talk and voice over net. Do you have anything on those two?
Hang on. Okay, that's all clear. Vaughn's off. Any station this net. This is Alpha 133.1. The radio check over.
Charlie, 1.1 over.
Any issues there, guys?
Negative.
Not that I
I'm
know.
gonna walk away from Mike and try him real quick.
Do I click? Because I hear it talking over here. Specialist, can you help me? Sorry. So I go to Arsenal.
So go into the arsenal.
Okay.
Click on your background.
Doc, he's talking to you.
Okay, I clicked on backpack.
Okay, on the right side you'll see a little magazine icon.
Doc, maybe.
The one by itself?
The one by itself is fine, yeah.
Okay.
Yay.
Click on him, you'll have to scroll down till you find the one you want. So you should still have magazines. So there
I mean, look at that baby face. How can you not be battle
Okay,
days?
hold on, let me see it.
So,
I got my battle erection.
There's none that says I'm
He moved.
Okay,
No,
because
no,
most of your stuff's probably in your vest.
last time, or was that just
Yeah.
I moved. I ran out
Okay, I
of
see it. Yeah.
yellow smokes last time. Yes.
I heard you on
Should
133.
should
Got
do.
that one.
13 is what you're supposed to have.
That's not my call.
It's
got-
I
pretty
sold
much
it
over
through a
one.
smokes ring out.
Usually
and I
over
threw a smokes
one.
ring out.
I got
Over
14 now
Alright.
and one of my weapon.
Sorry.
Okay, so put
No,
at least
I
2
thought you had
back
like 12,
because you
right?
got one in your weapon.
No, I only have
Okay, yeah,
six
And-
smokes,
Smokes.
yellow
Click on
smokes, and then I
the
got
grenade.
2 red, and I got
Oh my
one
god.
green.
Okay.
Lima Charlie 133.
Right.
Scroll down.
He only allowed, I think, 12
Okay, I got
How would you
smokes
do
for
that?
altogether.
That's
Yeah,
exactly.
12 grenades.
I don't
No,
no.
know.
Smokes
I
can
know,
get-
but okay. Well,
No, it seemed like I was hearing you over
What?
point
No, I
one
think
also.
you're-
I think I
Are
have
you
two.
limited?
Because you
Sergeant
can have
Miller?
10 total throws.
Okay.
You
I'm
tried
not
that
gonna
one
get
next
five
time.
yellow.
Yeah, aren't you just limited to
And
the
one green
grenades?
that I
133, I
Hold
can
on a
hear you,
second,
but
guys.
it sounds like it's whenever you're talking to the team, I can hear you
I
through
got
that
16
or
smokes on my
something
40.
too.
Oh, well that's fine. That's good.
Okay, you good?
Now,
That's
that
basic
now
right
that I
now.
clicked everything, what do I say? Close?
Just
I
say
only
close,
got
yep.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
7
man.
And then
yellow
just
smokes.
double check that you've got everything,
I
just
got
in case.
3 green, and
Yep.
I got 4
Before I
red.
say we're good. Okay.
No, sorry.
Alright,
Yeah, I got 4
fair
red.
enough.
Go for 3-3.
Do you say 40? No, I have 4.
Good copy. Alpha, you ready?
No, the 40 green smoke is unlikely.
Thank you so much.
I'm ready.
Specialist.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Good
Alpha,
copy.
did you ask me a question?
If we're ready.
All right. So, Bravo, you're going to assume the position. Alpha, since we know we're going to go to the left over here, you guys get over there and get ready to go. When you get
Okay.
the IDF fall, start your maneuver.
Oh, leave it there.
Or, I'm sorry, reverse. Alpha over here, Bravo over there. You know what the hell I meant.
Stay firm.
Okay, Bravo, we're going to be pushing over to the northwest. We get to assault this time, so
I can load.
Copy.
Yay.
make sure you got an MO in and make sure your safeties are off. And don't shoot
We're
anybody.
not throwing smokes right on our spot, right? We're gonna throw like in front of it, or you guys.
Hey, we're going to be
I guess
pushing
it's us.
up. We're going to be pushing up the western side.
Western side.
So, if you think that you need a smoke to cover your approach,
Mhm.
then put a smoke out between us and the bunker.
Enemy. Okay. Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's get moving.
Alright, here we go. We're in assault.
I think if we could get a little bit further out than we were, there's a little bit of a... Or not.
We need smoke.
Nothing getting into it.
You gonna be able to get the side over here? Oh. We get a pretty good smoke right there.
Got the AR. My favorite gun.
Get set up on this wall for now.
Is that a bad throw?
Okay, let's go. Get set up and rest of the compound to get back to the wall, guys. So we had to change of plans. Spread out along this wall. We gotta cover Alpha so Alpha can get to us.
Loading.
Okay, we're gonna pick up. We're gonna start our assault.
On set.
Reloading.
Shift to the north, and then we're gonna push on this target. Get some smoke out between us and the compound, though. Just try not to throw it in front of Alpha. And keep moving. That's another green went out.
I've been doing the green.
Did you guys grab smoke when you rearmed? Just keep pushing.
Okay, we're gonna breach it. I'm going in. Looks clear. Pushing in. Got two passages on the left side.
Check your speed sound.
Copy. Got two passages on the left side. This one's clear. Somebody want push into it so somebody can push by and clear the other one.
Moving right, moving left. Right behind you. I'll look right.
It's clear.
Copy.
Alright. Picking, clear.
Okay, you're looking clear on your right side, but I can't see you around the corner.
Where do you want to go? You want
Alright.
Go for Bravo.
Go.
I'm gonna hook this corner.
Okay, I'll hook this side. 1,
Hooking left.
2, 3.
Pawns up on the wall.
This is clear.
Clear.
We're with you, set.
I got this side.
Want me to keep moving there, Alpha?
Okay, we need to spread this out. We need guys on the other
Alright,
wall.
moving up here.
I'm moving to the other wall.
Two on each wall right now.
Yep, we're moving.
Start pushing.
Right,
Pushing.
fucking bunker's clear.
Picking left side.
Clear in front.
I'm gonna go ahead and peek the right.
Picking left, clear.
Peeking the right. Looks clear,
Copy.
looks clear.
Copy. I'm
All
gonna
clear.
hook this
We got
corner.
one guy right here.
Roger.
Shit, got it.
One dead.
He's down.
Cut passageway.
You're gonna hook left.
I'm gonna hook this right. Clear.
Friendly's
Hey,
front.
oh,
Friendly's front.
Jesus.
Yeah.
We cleared the southern entrance. Copy. Hey,
Pushing up.
Take it to the right wall. Right wall.
Yep, copy.
Can hook. You got any guys? Contact.
Copy, I'm holding the rear. Yeah, I know. I
Pushing.
figured you out.
Pushing.
Got 2 hallways here. I'm gonna check the first one.
I'm checking the one to the right. Clear.
Reloading.
Will be
Contacts
right
down around the
at the
corner.
end of that wall.
I'm right behind you, man.
It looked like an opening, but there isn't one. Pushing down this last opening.
Jesus.
Contact down. Got a little cubby here. Cubby's clear. This side's clear.
We confident this is cleared?
Got it.
Clear.
Go for Bravo. Bravo's convinced this compound is now clear.
Safety's on.
Safety on.
And let's step outside for our debrief.
What? The part where there's an opening in the compound and hostiles inside can see us, so we can't cross it.
I mean, you could cover that opening and send it up on the
I think my issue in that time.
Apron,
Nice.
that's true.
Keep that in mind when we start doing this with the other.
All right, we ready?
Yep.
Are we doing team internal stuff? Okay, cool. All right, all right, guys. How did we feel about it that time? Don't be shy.
I think it went okay, Corporal.
Yeah, it looked a little better too, right? What do you got?
Thank you, Corporal. I think that we should not go red on ammunition and smokes in one compound, given that we might have to assault 2 or 3 during one operation. Thank you.
Sure, fair enough. I don't disagree with that. It also depends on what the what the mission is, right? If the mission was take this compound, then by all means. But no, I agree. It's a good point to be mindful of your munitions status, because a team with no ammo is a team out of the fight. All right, so my notes, right? So I like that you guys did really well on the maneuver. We dropped a ton of rounds on this. You guys got into your SBF pretty well. Fire was conducted. Bravo pushed up. You guys looked real good. There was a little bit of snafu up here in the trees, a little miscommunication where you guys were just going to go ahead and push in, and Alpha was needed to pull up to your pause, right? That happens. Jumped on the net and was like, hey, and realistically, I would be controlling the teams, making sure that was happening. But we pulled back a little bit, got you guys in there. So once you guys got to this position over here and we were set, right, we were looking real good. A couple things I want to touch on after that, right? So this big open field right here, since we were bringing up OSIT and stuff, what's a good way to get a squad across a field like that?
Bounding.
Yeah, right. We can bound teams across that field if we need to. What's a good way to? Do we need to throw 8 smokes along our path? Do we have a grenadier in one of our teams?
Right.
Yep. Awesome. So you guys are carrying what? Smokes, right? So a couple of smokes right here, along the length of this trench line would do wonders for you guys pushing across that objective, right? So you smoke it out with your 320 smoke. It's all smoked up. It's looking good. And then you guys bound your teams across to the wall. Now everybody's at the compound at the same time. Fair enough?
Yeah, fair.
Yep. And then that way you haven't thrown 8 smoke munitions on the way in, right? So things that you did good, right? We had a good cordon going on as you guys cleared this objective. And what I mean is that I had 2 teams on both sides of the trench, basically pushing down the trench with Alpha, or I think it was Bravo, whoever was inside. I think it was Alpha was on the outside, Bravo was on the inside. So you guys pushed down and we're basically clearing the outside of the trench all the way to the end and then holding the back side of it, right? Cordoning off the objective, making sure that enemy couldn't run away or run around the outside of the objective and back into it, like we often see, right? So that was great. It was good to see. Something that was prevalent or that we saw up there is that when you guys actually cleared, actually entered on that side of the compound, you guys don't have to enter until we get stacked up, right? We're trying to establish that foothold, right? But if you guys are on the compound wall and we want to suck the whole squad, that's fine. We can do it. And I know that was kind of a quick change on my part. It was like, hey, we're going to do it this way. But realistically, we just changed this into a squad assault of this trench. Basically forgoing the support by fire team or squad that would conduct that for us. So just be cognizant of that, when we get on the compound wall, you guys don't have to go in until you're absolutely ready, which we should stack as much manpower on it as we can, right? We want to establish a foothold and get in there, absolutely, but if we don't have 2 squads ready to run up the gut behind us, there's really no reason to do it yet, is there? Or another team in this instance. Makes sense? Am I coming across clear?
Whoop.
Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. Said, not trying to beat you guys down, just it's easier to point out the stuff that went wrong than it is the stuff that went well. But you guys did well. Looks like the suppressed by fire was good. The communication was pretty good, with the exception of talking up to me. Sergeant Larry, you have anything you want to add?
Yes, Corporal, thank you. One thing...
Hey, Sergeant, I think you're on Whisper.
Am I?
Yep. No, you're not, but you're good.
All right, am I good? All right.
Yep.
Good. So, gents, one thing to keep in mind, while you did a good job clearing this compound out, you had the quarter running on the outside along with the clearing element on the inside. Of course, there was communication all going on and shit. That was good to see. But one thing, as you headed up from the assault point over there, the team that got up, Bravo, that got up in the compound, entered the compound before, Alpha got up to it, actually. So you never want to do that. You would never want to breach an objective without there being a quarter in place. So what ended up happening is that Bravo breached, they got into the objective, so now their situational awareness in regards to what's going outside the compound walls is nada, dick all, nothing. And Alpha, same deal, because they're busy holding their ass over to the objective itself, so they're not paying attention to what's going on in the outskirts. They're not covering. They are not controlling the outskirts. So if some fuckers decide to push out from the from the other end here, maneuver around on the backside and, breach behind you. So, or anything else that might have rolled up on the outside. You guys, would have limited options to none to deal with that shit because you were not controlling the situation. So do not breach until cordon is in place. So stack up on the wall, get ready, or pull security on the far end there before going in. Allow the cordoning team to get up there, take your position, and then you breach, and then you can start clearing. So you guys were sitting in the compound, these guys were running, and nobody was controlling the perimeter of the objective itself. So avoid that situation at all costs. Take that extra bit of time and wait for the other team to catch up to you. That's all I had.
Yeah, thank you, Sergeant. Yeah, and like I said, that just touches on it, as how important it was, and we fixed that snafu towards the end. It was, I guess, recognized, or just the correct call was made, and pushed 2 teams out on the court on the outside. But yeah, absolutely, make sure that you're controlling the objective before we jump in, right? All right. Anything from Alpha and or Bravo?
I think the only thing I have, Corporal, is at some point a team of Alphas breached the front of the compound and we had no idea they were there. Till we came around the corner with weapons on them.
Yep. If we've spoken on it, we fixed it. We can. I don't see any reason to rehash stuff if you guys have got it figured out and drummed up. But yeah, absolutely. Make sure that we're communicating where we're at and what we're doing, so that we don't get split up like that and end up shooting us. Yeah, I mean, we remember the shootouts from, what was it, 2 trainings ago or last training?
Hey, firm.
Where you guys kept blowing each other in the same house.
Hey, firm.
Yep. So that's how that kind of shit happens, and this is it applied, in the real world, I guess. All right. Well, if we don't have anything else, you guys ready to go do it live?
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah, you are, you sexy sons of bitches. All right, we're gonna move you back down to the resupply point, and then we'll push out. I'll give you a little mini brief real quick so you know what's going on, and we'll start the live portion. If you want, you can run down there.
Hey, Sergeant Larry, can I talk to you real quick over here?
Yeah, sure.
Are you running?
Hey, firm, looks like Alpha volunteered us to run.
God damn it, Alpha.
Do you need someone to carry you?
Yeah, I found a big fucking gun, so yeah. Want to carry me, Mike?
If that's what you want.
Everyone, please remember to restock your smokes as well.
It wouldn't be the first time I could someone across the battlefield.
I'm carrying the big guns. I'm fat. So, it's tiring carrying this big gun and running.
User joined your channel. Over.
Ah, shit. Other than that, TV sound. It's like that.
Indeed.
Alright, reload. It's easier.
Hey. Specialist Martinez. Yep, welcome to the fold. Yeah, it's okay. No worries, shit happens. All right, so I'm gonna give these guys a brief, but essentially they're going to be conducting kind of a movement to contact and then clearing and assaulting a trench. So I don't know. There won't be like a ton of stuff maneuvering against them, so to speak, but you can feel free to get up in the air and talk to us, because I'll be on ground as well.
This is Verbato with frequency check on frequency 150.1, over.
Sergeant.
He wanted to practice
Solid
some
copy.
Romeo's
Out.
type stuff.
I would have been here from the beginning, but when I came up.
Alpha Bravo, let me know when you guys are ready.
Let me know when you're ready.
Also, Alpha, I apologize for that last snafu there. I understand what I did wrong, and I figured out
Leave me Charlie and put 2
how
over.
to improve going forward.
Copy. Yeah, I'm set. Oops.
How are we doing privates?
Oh, yep, because that was good.
Good.
Everyone's got ammo, smokes.
Affirm.
This is good.
Kill on screen.
All right, good copy. Gather around. All right, welcome 3-3. This will be the live fire portion of today's training. Go ahead and open up your maps.
Who is hot micing?
Platoon Sergeant asks the question.
Go and fucking push the top. God damn it.
Super dope. All right, so if you guys open up your map, look approximately around the 0604 AO, you'll see my trace, right? Everybody see these marks on the map?
Whoop.
Affirm.
Super cool. All right, so essentially what we have is we have moved in from the east. We have pushed up to a dismount point. We will dismount there out of Humvees, and we will push up to take objective Coffee. To our north, 3-2 will be conducting a blocking position at objective Bacon. To our south, 3-1 will be seizing a hill, establishing a overwatch position to the south on objective Apricot. We will push up, take objective Coffee. It's known in this AO that the enemy's heavily fortified this position with a bunker and trench complex. We believe that they've been placed AP and AT mines. Of note is that there may be enemies within this small town down here, and so that will also have to be cleared as well. What are your questions at this time?
Civilian considerations inside the town.
None. The enemy has killed all the civilians.
Well, that was fucking dark.
They do that sometimes.
Oh.
Actually, we were planning to move just straight down that road into the town and sweep it first before continuing on to the objective. That plan?
Yeah, Roger. We will take primarily this route using the tree cover, kind of skirting the southern side of this, and then pushing into the town, and then using it as a foothold to attack the actual objective if possible. If that does not look like it's tenable, then we will pull back, revert route, and see if we can hit it in from the north side. Unless you guys feel more comfortable pushing on the north and taking the objective first, and pushing down into the town.
I'd love that.
I kind of like that, but either way,
What if we get lanked at the town?
3-2 should be watching.
Will there be any troops walking around this area?
It's possible they could be patrolling. So just remember that 3-1 and 3-2 are in their lanes, right? In their own missions. They've just divided this AO up into ours. So if some team walks into our AO, they're our responsibility, right? So just because we're operating in the vicinity of this lane doesn't mean that we can't see stuff coming from these towns or from over here.
Affirm.
Yep. But We'll have ISR assets in the sky as well as some indirect artillery assets. Should we get a good call for fire up and want to utilize it? Any questions at this time?
Negative.
Negative.
Negative, Corporal.
Oh, you guys are amazing. All right, stand by 1 second.
I believe ISR is not in the student reference.
All right, so Martinez, I am on 130 as well. If you want to talk directly to me.
Is
What's
one of your members presently carrying a mine detector?
And
No.
Sergeant O'Leary.
Specialist,
you guys got mine
what
detectors?
radios?
Point on.
Negative.
Are we in?
No.
We have one per squad.
Yes.
Are you going to be running the zoo side of it, or?
You should give it to one of us.
I mean, I can do both.
You should have it, right?
Not well.
That's 133.2.
For some reason, my radio's not even.
We'll see what he says after he's done.
It is set up.
Well, team leads or squad leader should have it, I think.
That's a good.
My radio's not even right.
3-3 is alpha.
What do you got, Big Sarge?
So channel 1, what is it?
133.2.
Roger. Yeah, Roger. It doesn't have to be heavily, but I feel like they would at least have some kind of presence there.
We can hear you guys.
I wanted you to hear that.
All right.
What? Tank platoon?
What? I wasn't paying attention.
Rome is 33 on 130. Got you, let me Charlie.
Translation, this is Matt
Alpha,
Bravo Gonzalez on
Bravo,
frequency
anybody
channel
carrying white
133.2. Radio check.
Yes, prices.
Lehman Charlie on point 2
Oh,
over.
harness as well.
He's got some. What about that mine detector?
Roger, over.
I have one on me.
You traveling with us?
I will be.
And my radio was fucked up the whole time, and it just fucking noticed right now.
All right, if you hardcore killers are ready, hit that and go to the live fire portion. Lock and load.
Confirm.
All right.
All right,
Do this.
where are we going?
Live fire.
Going through.
Come on. There it is.
Touch my location.
Do you actually want to move off to the left a little bit?
Yeah, southeast to south. Got northeast.
It's probably safer over here.
Definitely.
I'm gonna watch up to the northeast.
I'm already.
All right, good copy,
okay,
Bravo. Alpha, I want you to take us out. We're going to stay on the north side of this road, pushing on an azimuth of like 260 towards the objective. We'll stay on that north side of the road and then push in to objective copy. I'll copy.
Who's my battle
Yep,
buddy?
good copy. On you.
Alpha's going to be going out first. We're going to be moving at a bearing of 260, which is approximately west, staying on the north side of this
That's in
road.
line. Hot
Copy,
copy. Be
260.
advised, we're about 100 meters behind you guys.
Okay, let's pick up and start moving.
Moving. Moving.
Put ourselves in a diamond.
Where's the shot side?
Diamond would, we'll go in a diamond with the AR at the rear, please.
The rear. Okay.
Private A. Gonzalez, you need to get up on the right side of this. quick walk to let him get up. Do you see? Okay, so we're going to be forming a diamond. So you see I'm in the top, I'm in the front there. And we've got, you've got to get in front of Sergeant Gillen, but stay to his right side.
Coming up.
Fireworks are going off. Oh, yeah.
We're going to be short halting. Grab security.
That's south.
Get ready to move. Okay, picking up. Get back in the diamond.
Moving.
Alpha had eyes on what looked like a small barricade, but they got no movement in it at this time.
Central Romeo. I can. Step by.
We're adjusting our heading 270 just to stay in the tree line.
I can do it on the go. Copy. On fire, going out. On fire up.
Yep, that's Romeo sending out fire. ISR.
Are we not trying to sit out there?
Let's go to a walk. Pick it back up. Alpha's short halting in front of us, so right about here we're going to short halt.
Right here to our southeast, it's completely empty.
Be advised, we had
Alpha's Oscar Mech again. We're going to get ready to move. Okay, let's move. Following Alpha to the west.
Okay.
Good copy, guys. Eyes on objective.
Spread out along this tree line, see if we can get a hold of them. Got a bunker complex to our southwest.
Roger, go ahead and get a base of fire established. Bravo, I want you to go ahead and push around to our north and get ready to consult with the trees. Say again?
Bravo cop. We're going to be disengaging. We're pushing around the north side.
Copy north.
So we're going to be circling around Alpha to assault this thing. Stay down in this defilade.
Copy.
See if we can find a good approach on it here. Pretty sure there's a minefield up here.
Copy that.
Bravo's just turned to the south, pushing up in this other tree line here.
We cross it. Cross.
Contact in front of us.
Reloading. He's straight.
Get cover and engage them. Okay, we're gonna have to go by teams here and start moving up. Move towards that tower. We gotta clear them first.
Alright, man, down my pause. Apology, copy.
Say again, Bravo.
I have a man down my pause. You might go here.
Alpha actual's down. We need to get this moving. Grab security to the south there.
Copy.
Hey, fucking Price, get down. Just make sure fucking Alpha's up.
Don't have eyes on that
Alpha
shooter.
push into our position now. They're going to engage the compound that we were originally maneuvering on. Keep an eye out at the base of the tower for more contacts there.
Copy.
With you, Price. Let's go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I saw the tower.
Go ahead, keep pushing to the right. Let me know when you're set.
Alpha's pushing around us right now.
Get a line established so that you can cover Alpha's movement to the
Nice man. Pushing to the right.
156. Alpha, I need you to get into that trench complex.
Go ahead, push
I'll clear it
Price.
out.
We gotta cover Alpha's movement from the 156. So spread out along the tree line.
Myself are moving out to the northwest, southwest.
Gonzalez moving.
So that's gonna be about our southeast. So get some eyes out that way.
Oh, jeez. Are you fucking kidding?
We're getting shot from 220.
Roger that, Bravo. Go ahead and push one line with Alpha.
Okay, we need to be online with Alpha. Keep an eye out at that tower.
Copy.
Push past you. I know, man. We got a lot of shit up here. Price check it.
Can you put a 40 up there, Gonzalez?
Yeah, we got you.
I just got hit.
Send it. Good copy.
Price, I'm watching your asshole over to the west, alright?
Get white smoke.
Horns up.
Roger that.
Gonzalez, are you up?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yes.
Copy. Can you get back over with the rest of us here? We're to your west.
Copy that.
We got contact somewhere to our southeast.
Alpha Bravo, sign off. How we doing?
What is this time?
Send it. Good copy. Good copy. We're in danger close contact.
Yeah.
Thompson, I'm on your high. Contacts on your right.
Roger that. Pulling back.
Go on, set, push back.
Bravo, are you combat effective at this time? Good copy, Alpha. You're to our most southern unit. I need you to peel around Bravo north to try to get control. If you're able. RPG from the top of the hill.
Copy that.
Okay, I need one team of 2 to keep eyes on the top of the hill. We're getting RPGs from up there.
Copy.
Is everybody up and active?
Copying. Yeah, guilds up. Go in the top of the hill.
I'll let you deal with your pain and get into a better spot.
What are we shooting at? Where are they coming from?
Alpha's up at the town, up at the comms tower, sweeping it now.
Coming from the southeast, right? The enemies.
Throw a grenade.
We're gonna break contact.
Grenade.
One team push down to the west, and then push up to the radio tower.
Oh, dude, I'm passed out, dude.
Copy. Exhaust with me.
Where are you?
Wing west. Right next to you.
Once you find a good spot, set up, and we'll bound back to you.
Reloading.
Exhaust, where you at?
Over here. Where are you?
We need to fall back. All of us, fall back now to the northwest.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Copy northwest.
I parked any bad, can't run.
You guys up?
I'm up.
Wait,
We gotta get out of there. We're being bombarded by shells. We need to get the fuck out of there.
Moving. I'm hurt. Can't walk. Fuck, cover me, cover me. Oh, fuck.
We're gonna be moving to the radio tower. Get your legs patched up if you're hurt.
Doing that right now, Gonzalez.
If you can move, let's move.
What?
This is the last one. I'll walk from this.
Really?
Covered.
Alright.
Let's go, let's go. I'm right behind you.
Gillen, you good to go?
Yep.
Okay, if you want to know, we will.
Welcome to the world of the living.
What?
Oh shit, let's try this shit again.
Oh no.
Guys, why are we not up here?
I'm coming.
That's deep.
Walking wounded.
Got racers coming in from the east.
I got shot in the fucking ass. Fuck.
Get safe and patch yourselves up.
Working my left leg.
I'm green on minute.
I'm working your chest.
Copy.
I'm gonna need to give you blood too.
Good.
Fuck.
I figured as much.
All right, 3-3, listen up. We got a
Working
fire
my
mission
right arm.
going off to our south. Once that fire mission hits, it's going to suppress the trench line for us to
Halfway.
push in there and clear it. So we will push east. I'm sorry, east down this hill into that trench complex. Once we take the trench complex, we'll push from
Looks like
there into
Gonzalez
town.
probably needs some help too. He's limping pretty hard over there.
Which Gonzalez?
Gonzalez,
Be ready to move by the time
Gonzalez
the
over
rounds
there,
start
right?
falling.
I got
Fix yourselves up.
Alright, you're good.
Thanks, Mike.
right here.
Appreciate you.
Next to Corporal.
Holland's ready to go.
Hey, thanks.
We've got a fire mission that's going to go out on that compound, so once it goes out, we need to be able to move.
All right.
No problem.
Alright.
Okay,
sir.
thanks.
We didn't miss any intelligence in here or something, right?
I can't be in the right leg. What the hell?
What's this antenna? I don't know what that is. Maybe that's intelligence.
Nah, there's usually something like right here. They know how to do math, apparently. Holland's gonna go ahead and push off to the right a little bit.
What?
Been shots out to the east.
Yeah.
I can see that. Your clothes are covered.
Oh, yeah.
No eyes.
Hold still.
I'm fucked up. I can't bend it.
checking out the
Did you see where this asshole is?
Almost done.
Over out.
Guns.
Careful ripping off. Be careful ripping off the tape later. It might take a couple of years.
Okay, we gotta get ready to move.
Copy.
Get some smoke out there.
I don't need my. I can't bandage parts of my body.
Copy, we'll start ya.
Are we moving too?
We have to move, yep. Just be careful not to cross in front of Alpha's lines. Stay to the south side of Alpha.
Copy.
I still can't run. I'm having issues. I can't do right now.
Copy.
And in the mic, I can't bandage on my body.
Bravo.
I don't know what's happening. I can't walk. I can't bend my right leg. I can't.
Mike, he's over here. He's over here. He's right here.
I can't ban it until my right leg and stuff, so that's what's going on.
This is 3 Romeo. Reservoir marker
Good to move.
1032. It's 1 times gun truck currently.
Thank you.
Looking at your Bravo team. Over.
Alright, bro, I'm back. What do you guys know?
We're just down the hill from you to the southeast. There's a big somewhere to our southeast.
Copy, moving southeast. Sorry, I was having some issues there.
Got the gunner down.
Grab one and bring him back to the compound all radioed up.
I see you guys. I thought you in position. Hang it higher. I'm still Come on, you guys.
Get on a line, we need to push our way down here. We have at least one contact in front of us here somewhere. Okay, let's go. We're gonna move slightly to the east to these sandbags.
Gonzalez back on comms.
What are we missing?
I believe it was just me you're missing.
Yeah, he's definitely off to the south. Get the grenade over here. Barbada, you and me.
Copy, I believe that Gonzalez is back with 3-3, so.
Guys, patch yourselves up.
Just keep pushing east.
Okay, we got another team, possibly a squad, moving into the south. Reloading.
Bearing 150 straight.
Copy.
Reloaded.
Spokes parked my view.
Yeah, I'm good. Do this.
Gonzalez ready to check.
Gonzalez here. Charlie at point 2.
Okay.
Gotcha. My comms were malfunctioning there.
Okay.
Copy, we got contacts to our southeast where that white smoke is.
Good copy.
Get to the next set of Hescos.
I'm at center 40. Disregard that AL smoke.
Eastern north set of Hesco barriers.
Yep.
There's still more guys behind the doors.
Good 2 times contacts in there. There we go. Still somebody else somewhere.
You got hit?
Yeah, I just got hit.
Careful, we got friendlies pushing up on those Hescos.
Be careful, okay, because you got Bravo behind you. They're going to be shooting over your heads. You're walking into their line of fire.
It was fairly decent odds from that little bunker into town.
Yeah. Somebody out there somewhere, I just can't see him.
I got visual.
He's down.
Nice.
It's over there at the tree line.
Looks like we've currently taken up position right in your line of fire. If you guys want to make a maneuver to the southwest, we can hold cover for you as you enter the town.
Okay, we're gonna...
Stand by. I had T's crash on me.
Connected to the server. Wo1J Spears switched channel to Alpha section, CW3A Grayson on the server.
Yeah, let's go ahead and hop the fence and get
Going back to comms.
Okay, we're gonna be holding base of fire now.
Roger.
Where's this go? Are you just holding the...
Just come up to the HESCO barrier. We're gonna engage from there once you're fixed up.
Sorry, my battery's tied on my radio.
It's 34 to play with.
I'm up here.
Yeah, we're base of fire for now, so.
It's all I copy.
I'm going to turn off that Vic.
Hey guys, do you mind if I turn the fucking engine of that fucking vehicle?
Romeo.
Keep base of fire. I'll go get it.
Tree line to your south, please.
And then I need to patch it.
Mike's walking in front of us, so just make sure you don't ping him in the head.
Copy.
Okay, let's push down to that building. Push down to that wood building. And we're moving.
I'll patch you up when we get to chance push
I
out.
was gonna say what building?
The only one on our side of the street.
This is our Mr. Mini building for us, that's all.
Bravo, this is Alpha. Okay, guys, hold position.
We're gonna start clearing this down, going west.
Bravo,
Copy.
we're gonna go ahead and push our team to the east. Sweep out the buildings on the outskirts of town while you guys move through the.
Let's move.
Bravo copies. Move east.
Okay, let's start clearing these buildings. Alpha's gonna clear the last couple to the east, and then they're gonna support us. That came from uphill.
He's gonna be by the antenna. Two of them. Baron is gonna be 320.
Moving behind.
Those two are down.
Behind.
Gonna get one team. Gillen and Gonzalez, keep an eye on that. The other Gonzalez with me. We're gonna clear this building.
Range is 10 meters.
Guard that.
Reloaded.
We got a squad-sized element up there now.
Reloading.
We're holding position here. Gotta keeping our eyes northwest. Sounds like there's a bunch of people pushing in.
Structure cleared.
We got more. Got more contact.
Do you see anything, Gonzalez?
I think you just went down the guy's stuff. Look up real quick.
Sounds like there's a fire team sized element left. Bravo copies. That's gonna be Alpha's job. We're gonna continue to clear west. Bravo copies. Break those contact. Break from contact from that, and let's keep clearing west.
Copy. Copy.
Guys, we need to clear these buildings.
Left clear.
Mike, this is 3-3.
Go for Mike.
Roger, where's your CCP currently located at? Oh, here you are. You're on me. Do you like this house?
I gotta see the interior.
Taking more
first.
contacts from the northwest.
Roger, Mike, a copy 058046. Yellow 2-story house is going to be the new casualty collection point.
I got eyes on that shooter.
Gotta clear these houses.
Room enough for a party.
Right. Alpha 3-3. Roger, Bravo.
Clearing this building to our
Gonna
north.
hold this position. You guys are going to bound past Bravo into the greenhouses to our west, southwest.
Sounds like we're gonna be holding here.
Copy.
Who got the red paint?
We expect contact from the northwest, but make sure we got security everywhere.
There's red paint on my CCP.
Alpha's
Red
gonna
X.
be heading to the southwest, so
Send it for
they
3.
theoretically will have that.
Buildings off to the southwest. That's our
Looking
objective.
into this building to the left and right looks clear as well.
Negative, that's not in our lane.
No,
We'll
it's
clear
clear.
through objective coffee at this
Clear.
time.
You have
Yes,
a belt?
I do. You need one?
Yes, thank you.
Hold on. Hold on.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead. Price, don't go too far. Wait for a Halloran.
I'm taking a belt from Valorant.
Okay, we're gonna hold up.
How's everybody for ammo?
Good.
Yeah, you should.
I'm red.
Give you a belt, but I give you a 556. So
I'm black and HE, about 7 HEDP remaining.
Okay, one
What
back.
about 556?
On you.
Price,
So Halloran, continue on. Go up there with Price.
Alpha, just be advised, I'm amber on ammo at this time.
We got one times member
Let's say
that's
Amber around
red.
556.
Copy.
I'm gonna repack real quick.
Alpha did not copy. Say again.
Get on the screen, animal.
We're gonna move on the road. These two positions.
Copy, and I still have more. I still have more ammo for you too.
I'm here.
Yeah, we got the one box. I'm good.
Hey, Mike.
Is that friendly or enemy ideas?
Yep.
I'm down to 3 5.56 mags.
You need him or someone else?
And 3 tracer mags.
I'm down to 1.
I'll get. Where are you at? Give me 1.
Oh, right here.
There you go. Now you got 4 extra.
Oh, you're getting a nice right.
Yep. I don't fire off as much as you do.
I was actually shooting people. I was not shooting in the air. It was just like, there's a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, I still don't shoot as much as you guys.
The bad thing is I had it at first. I had it on automatic 3 burst. So I'm pretty sure that's why.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
We have 2 squads coming down from
I
Objective
spend most
Coffee
of my time fixing
and
holes
filling in
instead of
those
making
bunkers
holes.
that we took. We also have a BTR coming in as well.
Good copy.
Got contacts coming.
Got contacts. Baron 015.
We got a team size element coming from approximately 320 uphill.
Copy.
Yeah, I see him on the hill.
BTR is traveling south down the MS road.
Northwest is 2, 3, no,
2,
sorry,
0.
3,
All right, let's move up.
2,
Move up.
6.
I'm with you.
Get defenses.
Hopefully.
Engage those guys.
Yeah, we're going to move all the way up to the northern part of the town and get a good defense.
I got some good armor.
Good vibes. We got a guy with an RPG, Baron 310.
Ship recovery here. Squad size element moving out to your northwest. Nope, you got fucking probably about another team size element at 310, 200 meters. Oh, I just got hit.
Got at least a team size up the hill from us. And some targets further to the north somewhere.
Barbado, where you at?
I'm here.
Price, be advised, he's back up by Alpha. Over.
Nothing from Alpha.
Hey, one time.
Hey, Barbado, let's move off. Shit. Off to the left here. Alpha copies. 3-3, this is Alpha. We've got eyes on another squad size direct north, moving to our west.
Got more squad-sized elements up that hill. Gillen, are you up?
3-3, this is Alpha. Be advised, we may have already...
Yeah, I was scanning the targets.
Direct west of our location.
Yeah, okay. I just didn't hear you engaging, so...
Good copy. Sending it up.
I'm trying to waste my ammo. I'm scanning the targets.
3-3, this is Alpha. For a fire mission on top of that hill.
He's dead.
RPG is down.
Guys, let's get a defensive line up here. Let's move up a little bit.
Yeah, that's.
He's here in this building. Copy. Just about the same position. 3-3, this is Alpha. Be advised, my team is pushing danger close to being red on ammunition. Shit. Checked another. I got contacts direct east. They're in the town. 3-3, this is Alpha. Be advised, we've got enemy contacts, probably squad size, moving in from the east. They're inside the town. Engage. Loading.
Oh, fuck, I see the goddamn BTR.
Where is it?
55, northeast.
Give me a range right now.
Hold on.
Got that BTR is northeast. Get the AT ready.
Shit, get back, get back.
Get the fucking cover. You got a BTR.
And the whole
fucking,
squad's here.
northeast by 5.
Oh, he's gonna try to flank it out to the south.
Right, 192.
Yep, gotta get back. Gonzalez, be careful.
There's no way we're taking that fucking thing from here now. Gonzalez is a fucking BTR, so northeast cover.
And then do what?
Get it.
Barbato, just stick close.
Yeah.
Alpha's up, we're taking fire.
Fuck it.
Gillen. 3-3 is Alpha. Be advised, we're pushing back to the east, trying to get eyes on that BTR, take a shot. Good copy. We got Mike with us too.
Bravo, you up?
Sorry, say again for Bravo?
I was asking if you were up.
The hell? That's what they told me to shoot it down there.
That shit sounds getting closer.
On the first encounter. Oh shit! They got it. Oh, they got it! They got it!
Reloading. Down to my last mag.
Little dismount from the BTR.
Yeah.
I got one mag left. This is my last mag. Alright. Roger.
Gonzalez.
What's up?
How many of you got left, bro?
I just got 2 mags from Bravo.
Okay. I got 3. You need one more specialist?
No, I'm good.
I got an extra. I got 3 of them, and plus the one that I have in my. All right, here. I'll drop it.
Us. going to be pushing up the hill to objective coffee.
Copy.
Alpha's on their way now. Try and hold for them, and then we'll go up.
Okay, that's friendly.
Yeah, Alpha's up at the bunker up the hill.
Yeah, I was about to fucking. Okay.
Let's start pushing that way.
Copy, moving.
Right behind you.
Weapons up. We're going to stay to the west, though.
Oh, fuck.
It's contacts to our northwest. I'm gonna go slower. Everybody get online with me. Okay, push to the tower. We're getting security.
Copy.
With Alpha, so figure out where Alpha's got covered and we'll cover the rest.
Roger.
Guys, just get security out of this.
Grab security. Let's try and get 360 all the way around.
3-3, this is Alpha.
Got west.
3-3, this is Alpha. Request permission to commandeer an enemy vehicle with a cal on top. Price, no, you cannot.
Condition 4, index, index, index. And I assume we'll be rallying outside somewhere.
Okay.
We got like, no, we got like 2 or 3 mags left each. Don't break your back there, Corporal.
I'm good.
Corporal, I can barely hear you.
How about now?
Not a lot better. Much better.
Cool. Everybody condition 4? Everybody good?
Confirm.
All right. Well, good job, guys. We took the objective. So we'll kind of go through a quick AAR. We'll talk about some points that I saw, and then we'll get out of here. All right. So open up your map. We'll kind of talk through our movement. It's just the way that I do it. So everybody can see my trace.
Confirm.
Cool. All right. So let's see. So we did something like this, right? Where we're pushing in. We got eyes on these compounds right here, right? We said, okay, those guys aren't good. And we ended up right here, right? And that's where we took first contact, correct? Moving along the north side of our lane.
Oh,
Confirm.
Yep, so we took contact from here, and our call was to bound Bravo past over the road and allow Alpha to set up a support by fire right there, correct? Allowing them to take the north side of Objective Coffee. Navigating around this minefield. We then pushed through Objective Coffee. After we... Really, the call was to go and take the trench complex, but we found that plan was untenable. So we pushed the whole squad up into Objective Coffee. We seized Objective Coffee, reconsolidated our forces, and then we pushed south down into the trench complex. Correct?
Correct.
After we cleared that out, that kind of gets hazy for me because I went down for a little bit right there. But we cleared that out. We took the trench compound. I take it without much issue, and then pushed down into the town of Mista, where we hit the town pretty much dead center into this building right here. Cleared out to the east, cleared out to the west, and then began taking contacts from the top of Objective Coffee again, right? Something like a platoon's worth of dudes. Correct?
Affirm. Correct.
Yep. So we finished clearing out this side of the town, and at that time, Romeo called up a BTR traveling south down the main MSR. I'm going to be honest, I thought it was right here. I was having dagger issues during the operation, so I really didn't know where it was, but we pushed the, we saw the BTR, we sighted it. Alpha came around. I think Specialist Price made an awesome shot on it, killed it. We lit it up, killed the rest of the dismounts, pushed back up to the ejected coffee, and that's where we called index, correct?
Affirm.
Awesome. All right. So, I think you guys did a good job tonight. I think, you know, the intent was right is how to clear and deal with the trench, right? But then we were trying to apply that real world, right? So we had a trench system that was guarding an actual objective, and we went with the most, you know, the easiest choice, which was to push around the trench complex and take the objective. Now, you know, if the enemy would have had more mines here in the way or more stuff to force us not to go that way, it could have created some problems. I'll also say that, you know, us taking this objective like this may not have been the most advantageous position, because if we would have had more contact from the west, we then would have been fighting, you know, from the east, from the south, from the west on three sides, correct?
Roger.
Right, but we went with what we saw. When we saw the compound, we just came up with a plan of attack and did the best we could. That being said, we were. Did anybody have any issues? I saw a large detonation. Did you guys run into this minefield that was over here? Is that what happened? Or was it an RPG?
I didn't. I don't think anybody from Alpha did.
I don't believe anybody from Bravo hit any mines.
Okay. All right. I was just making sure. So with that, you know, things to work on. You know, obviously Bravo. I think you're like the Bravo 2 IC, correct?
Affirm.
Yep. So communication was good between you two guys, but I don't think it was as good as it could have been. I felt like a lot of times I was trying to pull information instead of you just pushing information to me, which is, you know, understandable in the circumstances. There's a lot of times where you guys are getting pinned down and fucked up, but you know, it's something that, you know, information feeds the fight, right? There's a lot of times, especially with me not being able to look at my dagger tonight, I really was like having to run around and look for like where people were at. All in all, I think you guys made good use, you know, of tactics. We kind of just, you know, herded cats through our objectives and fixed whatever we had to do. But again, keep in mind that, you know, when we get a chance to tactical pause like this, it's a good time to go ahead and start reapplying fundamentals, right? Did we bound teams down this slope right here? Or did we just kind of like push online?
Alpha just pushed online.
Yeah, Roger. So, you know, just remember that a good way to do it would have been, you know, maybe secure, you know, set up that security element, that support by fire element, push Alpha down a little bit till they're kind of close, you know, and then push Bravo down until they're ready to hit, you know, and kind of keep walking that support by fire down into the enemy trenches. I know we were taking fire from the town, and that was creating a lot of issues. I think that should highlight the fact that if you guys are fighting on a forward-facing slope, right, like this, it creates huge issues, right? We really don't want to fight this way if we don't have to, up it or down it, realistically. So we could have even really, you know, and the call to go south was on me. We really could have maybe come back this way and back into the trench complex, pull back behind this hill, and then use this ridge line right here to cover us. But those things happen, right? Efforts in the town were good. Ace reports went up. I think you guys did a good job down through here clearing. I felt like it was a little fast. Was every building clearable in here, or did we just kind of push through it?
I don't know that everyone was clearable because we didn't check everyone. We didn't take contact. We continued moving. Also, I know Alpha was on the eastern side and had to bound past Bravo, and we assumed a good portion of that was clear.
Yeah, A-firm. I just didn't see a lot of marks on stuff. You know, I guess the call was not that to clear the entire town. You know, But this is pretty, this is pretty dense right here, right? So within this 300-meter area, there's 30 buildings or so. Just keep that in mind, that when we're clearing through stuff that's really dense like this, there's nothing wrong with like taking a building and then prepping a team to take the next building and then prepping a team to take the next building. Like, we weren't in any rush to clear all this shit. So we could have maybe slowed down a little bit in the town and done it a little bit more efficiently. I feel like, had there been something crazy like a BTR or something hiding over here, it could have ended up really badly from what I saw on the ground. But yeah, other than that, I think you guys moved and communicated well together. I think you reached the intent. Trench clearing looked good from what I saw after it was done. I really didn't see it. And realistically, we did the best thing possible, which is not run right up the gut into this thing, right? Because that's what they wanted. That's the meat grinder. Fair enough?
Hey, firm.
Hey, firm.
Super awesome. All right. Certain leadership.
Thanks, Corporal. Everybody hear me?
No,
Hey, Sergeant.
Hey, firm. Hey, firm, Sergeant.
All right. Okay, so just a quick comment on your entry here. As you guys first got into the AO and started moving on objective coffee, I mean, if you still have your maps open, you can see my fucking red thing. If you got guys over here and the assessment, the decision to push on objective coffee first was made here, and that in that situation that was the right call. True, it's true what Corporal Thompson said. I mean, if they had fucking stuff over here or here or here, you guys would have been surrounded. But you make the decision based on the intel you have at the given time. So you knew there were enemies here, you knew there were enemies here, there were enemies here. So you had to push straight into the fucking bunker. All right, sandwiched. Push down into the town around it. Well, you had elevating and inflating fire from all, second other fucking occupied positions. So to push on objective coffee first, then establish a foothold by utilizing deflate that was available over here. That was the right call to make. So that was absolutely, pretty much the only option. So you clear those positions out in the correct order. So absolutely right call. And actually, I don't have anything else. I mean, communication was there. You guys managed to keep your security. Maneuvers were conducted with good tempo. I mean, violence of action was there. You guys took some crazy amount of fucking enemy forces heading your way. I mean, when you were moving up to Jacob, you got a fucking squad and a half moving up from the town itself to kind of flank you and push you back. You guys fucking just stood there and took it like champs and gave it back twice as hard. So I really don't have nothing to critique on for the live fire exercise. I mean, shit out worked 3-3. That's all I have.
Thanks, sir. Yep, and it's not to forget our Romeo that showed up for the live fire part. He did a lot of stuff for us out there. Was giving me good intel. That's honestly how I knew the BTR was on ground. Was trying to get you guys clued into it. So I appreciate it. Special Martinez, good job out there. Good reports. Way to clean up. I only can apologize that I wasn't able to actually look at my dagger at your marks, but I assume they were spot on. At least the direction, everything was good. I would say that if you're gonna call up a contact report, just let me know, just give me a direction of movement, like they're here moving this way. And then that way I don't have to look at the mark.
Will do.
That's just my personal taste. Everybody else may hate that, but if you can find a way to do it brief and quickly, like, they're here moving south from this position towards this, that gives me a ton of intel to fight with. But you won't be responsible for just 3-3, so I understand if you're not able to do that.
That's fine. I got it.
Yep, A firm. All right. But thank you for coming in and hanging out. All right, Alpha, what do you got?
Nothing from Alpha at this time. Thank you.
Super cool. Bravo, what do you got?
Nothing from Bravo at this time, Corporal.
All right, Doc, you got anything?
Negative medically. I'm just still wondering who had got the red paint that was put on the building.
Yeah, there was red paint thrown up somewhere. Did somebody mark with red?
A from Bravo did.
Okay, roger that. Red is not used. Am I correct on that?
No. Red
Okay.
spray paint. There's nothing that says that you can't have red spray paint. It is not only used for demolition marking. It's also to mark danger areas. And I mean, if let's say a squad, finds an IED somewhere, I mean, of course they mark it on view for, but they don't have to have blacksmith there to mark the perimeter. Squad can start doing that as well. So red spray paint can be carried. I mean, there's not many times where you really use it, but still sometimes it comes up. So one person in the squad can carry red, but that's totally fine. Mark danger areas and such. They're used for it, just not a lot.
Yep, roger that. Sorry. Okay, well, yeah, just make sure that we're following SOP, whatever we're marking with out there. But yeah.
Copy, Corporal. It was not my intention to mark in red. In the heat of the moment, I grabbed the spray can and it turned out to be red.
I gotcha. That happens. Yeah, no worries. All right. And Staff Sergeant Holleran 3-1. Do you have anything that you would like to add for the team?
Yeah, thank you, Corporal. I feel like Alpha did really well tonight. I don't really have too much to add other than the fact that Price, you were on the ball tonight. You and I were verbalizing every fucking action that we needed to do. So I just want to commend you on that front. That's something that 3-1 went over last night. And I think that it's pretty much lacking throughout the entire unit. So good job on that front, Price.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Awesome. Yep, no, thank you, Sergeant. Any other C's or Q's from the rest of you guys? Price.
Thank you, Corporal. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
I just wanted to touch on a moment in the fight that I found a little bit confusing. It was right at the point where we were told to cross the road. It was that short, brief moment where I had to step up and you told me to link up with Bravo. I believe you remember that, 3-3. And and once we reached Bravo, we tried to move past them towards Objective Coffee, basically bounding past them and trying to encircle the objective. And we're told immediately after to push southeast. I believe it was 150 towards those Heskos. It was at that moment that I realized that perhaps that the enemy compound was not where the objective was, and that everyone had the idea that we're moving in the other direction because that's where the objective is, or something like that. And we found ourselves moving south in between basically the two enemy control positions, and what followed was a very oh shit moment where the enemy started spawning behind us and appearing out of the trees, and then we took fire from the antenna, and we were fucked from all possible sides, and at some point we had to push back. And I remember that clearly because we were all yelling at the top of our lungs, bounding backwards, trying to not get fucked before we eventually assaulted Objective Coffee. I was just a little bit confused as to what the idea of the movement was there. Were we trying to hit the Heskos faster and we realized we couldn't?
Yeah, so essentially from my foxhole, right? I built the course, right? So I'm trying to play from my mindset that I don't know anything that's going on, right? So I don't know what's at the top of Objective Coffee. We weren't hitting anything. Sorry, you got something?
Yes, thank you, Corporal. Of course, Special Price. At what point in time did you see enemies spawning behind? Because that's what you said just now.
I excuse my expression, but I'm not meaning they were spawning behind. I'm saying that we were basically hurtling towards the antenna. We're told to turn backwards, and once we turned our back to the antenna, enemies were basically coming from the antenna. I'm not saying they were spawning behind. That's a mistake on my part. So no, I didn't see enemies spawning. No.
Okay.
Yep. So if you open up your map, I'll try to clarify, I guess, my decision-making process on that. My COA dev, right? So you guys basically were right here. Alpha went down. We were told to push. I told you guys to push across the road, right? Bravo was already up here fighting the good fight by themselves. So essentially, I didn't know what was on Objective Coffee, right? I knew that there was possibly enemy up there that they were taking fire from. But they said, you know, hey, we've dealt with most of it. It's, you know, sporadic contact or whatever. So at that point, I said, well, I know I'm taking heavy contact, or we saw heavy contact on the trench compound, right? But there's a pretty open lane right into here to hit it. So you did one of these, and then the intent was for you guys to come here, and then Bravo to just basically watch, you know, this way, to cover your movement into the trench, right? And that's what happened. That's why it got sandwichy and weird. And then what happened was you guys came over this ridge line, and there was a fuck ton of dudes down there, and it just wasn't a tenable plan anymore at that point. But the idea was try to get you into the trench and clear it out as quick as possible, and then push uphill. Because realistically, if we push, you know, uphill from the trench, or we push, you know, around the side of it into the objective, at that time I couldn't figure out a way to get you guys, you know, through the trench and into this at the same time. So the thing was just to take out one and then, you know, hop into the other one, and then the enemy forced our hand and we just went around it and took the hill on top because it was the easier objective.
Right, I see.
So realistically, the idea was trying to get security out to the west and to the north. And then when you guys push west, you push like directly into whatever it was, a platoon down there. And then it was like, okay, well, let's fall back and we'll just peel past each other and take the top of the hill. Make sense?
Yeah, thank you, Corporal.
Super duper cool. Any other QCs? Clarifications? Okay, well, hey guys, I think you did great on training tonight. Seriously, better than I expected. That was really fast and really clean. Only a few wounded while we were doing this, and it was pretty heavy duty. So thank you to all you guys that showed up. Thank you all my fill-ins. Thank you Sergeant Lurie for helping me run it, and Specialist Martinez for giving us some extra assets. If you guys are good, then I'm good with you, and you're good to go.
Whoop.
Whoop.
Whoop. Alpha in my channel, please.
Hey, firm.
Hey, Alonso.
Yeah, Roger.
Hop up to my sensor down here.
Alright, that's enough for me tonight. Thanks for watching. Because of the holiday tomorrow, we will not be streaming tomorrow because of the holiday. There's no war rights event, so no stream tomorrow. So we'll be back live hopefully on Sunday night at 8 p.m. hopefully for a big affiliate for Task Force Alpha. So I have to see you on Sunday. I might go live earlier on Sunday for squad training too. Just keep an eye on Twitch or join my Discord. I'll link it along my page. But yeah, thanks for watching and have a good night. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye bye.